Would you like to know about one of the biggest advances in computer vision that had a little bit of humor and also a bit of a dark side as we'll get into the story? Our story starts back in 2016 in computer vision, which at the time was really hard to be able to detect an object in a picture very quickly. It would literally take something like 10 seconds to do that. And so if you were trying to track an object or to track multiple objects, it became very difficult. But then Joseph Redmon dropped the YOLO paper, and that changed everything for object detection. Now, one quick glance at this paper and you can immediately tell there's something special going on. And a lot of what Joseph did in writing this paper was unusual at the time. Notice right away the language here is interesting. Technical communication doesn't have to be boring. We should write interesting. You also see there's a link to his site. He made it very easy to jump and get the code so you could reproduce this paper yourself. The paper is very easy to read, the math isn't overly complex, and there's lots of details on the implementations. 5 years ago when he was writing this paper, lots of papers would leave out the important details, which made it very hard to reproduce. It seemed like some researchers didn't really want you to reproduce. Here he takes the time to carefully put down all the settings to help out somebody that truly wants to reproduce this paper. He also takes the time to have a section on things that didn't work. And for a long time, people wouldn't talk about things they didn't work. They just focused on what their success. But the reality is all of us can learn from those mistakes, and that helps us better understand the subject area. And come on, and who doesn't like this visual? He very effectively was able to show exactly how his model did in terms of performance and overall accuracy compared to the other existing models. The last section talks about what are the implications? How is this model actually going to be used? And you can see he's hopeful that it's going to be used for good purposes, but he also realizes that other people, the military defense, might use this model to kill people, for example. And this is why he decided to walk away from it. He realized that there was no real ethical way to do this type of stuff, that these models could be used for unethical purposes. He just unplugged himself from the system, and I really admire him for that.